Hello, Iowa. How's it going? Have a seat, have a seat. Now, you guys got me excited already. It didn't take much. It just let the plane land. Feel the crispness in the air. Okay, the cold in the air. As a Southern boy, let me just say, how many of y'all are super excited about the powerful, positive leadership of your governor?
Oh, yeah.
Now, Governor, I will tell you that I could feel it over here. I can feel it right here too. Let me try that one more time. I'll be right back. Excuse me one second here. Hello. How's everybody doing? You guys look great over here. Look good over here. What had happened was, how many of y'all are just like wanting to get on your feet and celebrate a governor who lowers taxes to 3.9? Only half of y'all. Okay. How many of y'all want to get on your feet for the governor who passes school choice? I like this room. Now, how many of y'all are excited that the best is yet to come? That's what she said, and I believe her. Let's hear it all for Governor Kim Reynolds. Awesome. Governor, I do get excited when I come here. I think I've been here since 2015 for Senator Grassley. I keep coming back. I love this state. I love the leadership. I love the sense of community that you have here. And one of the things that we're struggling with as a country is this sense of unity that is a necessary component for our future success. For America to be at our best, we have to work together. We have to come together. And we must come together on a common ground built from common sense, and that means conservative values. I believe conservative values is the home of common sense. I was at home in South Carolina this past Thursday, and it was a Black History Month event sponsored by the Republican Party. And I was thrilled to go to a Republican Party and a Black History Month event. And this young man from the Citadel, which is South Carolina's military college, he spoke first. His name was Benjamin Gilman. And Benjamin told this story about Joseph. Joseph in the Bible. Y'all know the Bible? I'm in the right room. This is good. This is good. This is really good. Very good. Son of Jacob. Son of Jacob. Very good. Very good. Okay. This is going to be like a conversation and not just a monologue. I like that, by the way. So Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers. The time came when he had a chance to get even. Because payback is a natural instinct. We all have it. But a part of American exceptionalism isn't just looking for the most natural, instinctive response to challenges, to crisis. It's going a step further. And what Joseph ultimately did was he decided not to get even, but to get ahead. That lesson in the Bible is a very important lesson for America. Because right now we have politicians who want to say that grievance is our future and not greatness. Because they believe that by using the provocative racial history of our nation, that they can create a wedge in this nation that will bring more power and more resources to their progressive agenda. I stand here to tell you, not on my watch. Not on my watch. I believe We live in the freest, fairest land in the history of the world. And I thank God I'm an American. I thank God Almighty. I am an American. I gotta tell you, my story is not a story that starts with a silver spoon. Maybe it was plastic, but it wasn't silver. And my grandfather, who was born in 1921, who just died 7 years ago, in the Deep South, born in a very small southern town, where Jim Crow was alive and well, where he had to get off the sidewalk if a white person was coming. And he was taught never to look a white person in the eyes. So when I talk about America and our history, I'm not whitewashing it. But my grandfather believed then what some seem to doubt now, in the goodness of America. My grandfather had faith in this nation. He said, son, talking to me, not his grandson, but he said, son, you got a choice. You can be bitter or you can be better. I've chose better. My grandfather, he had faith in God, which is his foundation. But he also had faith in the future, that somehow, some way, this nation would rise up to the full meaning of our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence. But he also had faith in each other. My mom, who worked 16 hours a day as a nurse's aide, single parent, who made the decision to show us the dignity of work. It's a very basic yet conservative concept that if you can, you should. Period. No excuses. So imagine my mother's delight when her son comes home with a failing report card. My mama would tell me, I know I only have 15 minutes. It's gonna be the longest 15 minutes in Iowa history. About 22 minutes, gotta take 20. Y'all okay if I take 20? Thank you very much. I came home, my mama, she still is an encouraging woman. So she said, baby, I said, yes, ma'am. She says, if you just shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll be among the stars. If I heard that once from my mom, I heard it 1,000 times. At the end of my freshman year, when I failed world geography, civics, the study of politics, God has a sense of humor. Now, after 9 years in the U.S. Senate, I am not the only one failing civics in our nation's capital. I see y'all get what I'm saying. And I failed Spanish and English. My joke is if you fail Spanish and English, nobody calls you bilingual. They all call you ignorant because you can't speak in any language. That's where I found my unhappy self. My mother, she comes home at 11 o'clock, 16-hour shift, just changing bedpans and rolling patients. Because she believed that somehow, some way, this nation would afford her kids a future that would be unimaginable. Amen. God bless America. She wakes me up, looks at my report card. Kevin, she says, baby. I said, I know, Mama. I should have shot for the moon. She said, no, sweetheart, you missed that lesson. So she walked me outside to a tree. And she said, pick one. It's like, Mama, why am I taking the leaves off this branch? I'm not sure what you do here in Iowa, and it's not popular anymore. I know. But just let me tell you the story. A switch is a southern apparatus of encouragement. A Apply generously. All over. She had to use it one time, and one time was enough of my body. But she was trying to instill in me that if you don't quit on yourself, all things are possible. And then the next year I met this amazing gentleman. He was a Chick-fil-A operator. I was 15 years old. His name was John Moniz. He went to that college, the Citadel I just talked about. John took a liking to me because his kids were hanging out at the movie theater where I was working. John started talking to me about the most interesting things, like having a job would be a good thing, but creating jobs would be a better thing. That if you have a good income, you can define your own lifestyle. But if you create a profit, you can change your community. John was a Christian conservative who never mentioned the word Republican, but he taught me to think for myself. He taught me that anyone from anywhere at any time in America can rise above their circumstances. At 19 years old, John was 38. He went into the hospital and never came out. Dead at 38 years old. I set my mission statement. John's mission statement was to positively impact the lives of 1 million people with a message of hope and opportunity. Hope being his faith in the man above. And opportunity, taking the time to teach financial literacy to kids who desperately needed it. So my mission statement is to positively impact the lives of 1 billion people with the same message of hope and opportunity. You see, in America, one life can make all the difference in the world. You'll have thousands upon thousands of kids whose lives will never be the same because Governor Kim Reynolds signed a piece of legislation. I gotta tell you, and see, I tell you my story because when I look at where we are as a nation, it hurts my heart. Because I believe that we are the greatest nation the world has ever known. But there seems to be a force tearing at everything we do. It's as if some people have a plan on how to ruin America. Anybody else feel like that in the room? Because it's not just me. This is good. This is good. About 83% here. We got to question the other 17, but 83 so far. If you were developing a blueprint for how to ruin America, you would actually do everything that did not happen to me. My mentor was a white guy. My mom, powerful, praying black woman. You would determine that in America, you need to segregate the races again. You would say what we were told 100 years ago, that the color of your skin defined who you were, you would bring that back. If you wanted to ruin America, your blueprint would be to first challenge the patriotism of our nation. And you would teach people that our founding fathers were oppressors, not great American citizens. Because you have to first take aim at our patriotism so that we can question who we are. So we question whether or not we are the greatest nation on earth, so that we question whether or not our DNA is unique and rare on earth. There are forces throughout this country who are targeting patriotism in several insidious ways. It's like a cancer spreading through our culture. And the easiest way to do that is to start with the issue of race. It's one of the reasons why I started by sharing my story, my family story. Because in America, today, you can be a Super Bowl quarterback playing against another Super Bowl quarterback and be African American. You can be the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States. You can be the Secretary of State twice over, both Republicans, and be an African American. But in today's society, because of the narrative being crafted to ruin America, the one thing you cannot be as an African American is a conservative. Because in today's America, we actually defy their lies. We stand in the face of their lies and say, it ain't so.
Right. Yeah.
Because anybody from anywhere can do what I am doing. If you put the work in, you get the results out. It's the most amazing thing. This is not possible in the 95% of the rest of the world. But it's possible here. I was on the way here. My good friend Trey Gowdy calls me. He says, Tim, how's it going over there? I said, going good. He said, when you were at Stall High School about to flunk out and trying to figure out how to make sure your mama never saw your report card, could you have imagined taking a trip to Iowa to talk about restoring faith in the nation? A poor kid from a single-parent household given the gift of a new life with new eyes to share it all over the nation. We take for granted the most remarkable story in history that we were a part of. See, if you wanted to ruin America, you would have to say that that's not possible. But here I stand. If you wanted to ruin America, you'd have to make sure that people would doubt the very look and say it's not possible. If you wanted to ruin America and you were putting together a blueprint, you would have to print and then spend trillions and trillions of dollars. And here, inflation raging around 13.5%. So that when you drive up to the gas station and you start putting gas in your car, even now when it's dropped precipitously, it's still 40% higher than it was in December of 2020. If you wanted to ruin America, you would literally have to go after our economy and see inflation go high. You'd have to put yourself in a position where your electricity is 20% higher. Gas is 40% higher. And food, thank you for being the food basket, by the way, is 20% higher. Single moms like the one that raised me, in this current economy, it wouldn't just be an unfortunate challenge. It would be an all-out crisis. So to ruin America, you've got to make sure that the economy is staggering towards the finish line. If you wanted to see the blueprint for ruining America, you'd have to make sure that in K through 12, you have more indoctrination than education if you want to ruin America. You'd have to make sure the kids spent more time on CRT than they do ABC. To ruin America, you'd have to go after the future generations in such a way that they would be confused on everything, even the basics. You see, if a football coach prays, you would want to make sure that football coach would be fired if you want to ruin America. If you want to ruin America, you would make sure that the poorest kids are locked in the failing schools with no choice and no voice. I went to 4 different elementary schools by the 4th grade. If you want to ruin America, you can't let a governor create school choice where every kid in every zip code in your state has an opportunity to succeed. When we were at St. Anthony's today, 14 zip codes send kids to that one public school. And the good news is it's going to get better, because next year it'll be 20 zip codes. Because every year more kids and more families can experience high quality education, and that destroys the myth, which makes it harder for the blueprint to stick. If you wanted, and I'm almost done, I'm ruining America, because I'm about to need a break on ruining America. But if you were looking for a blueprint to ruin America, you would make sure that our borders are unsafe, insecure, and wide open. You see 4.5 million people crossing our southern border in the last 2 years, the worst illegal crossing in the history of our country. The blueprint for ruining America would have to see 100 people on our security watch list show up at our southern border, not from Mexico, but from Iran. Not all 100. The last one we saw just a few weeks ago, from Iran. If you were going to ruin America with a blueprint, you would literally have more than 107,000 Americans lose their lives to overdoses. I don't see these as political issues. I see them as personal issues. I'm the child that benefited from people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I'm the guy who was on the phone 2 weeks ago with the dean of our business school, whose son, a college-educated young man, Alan Chow, lost his life to fentanyl. You see, I love this country. And I think the blueprint to ruin America, it is real. But it is exactly, whether it's a blueprint or not, it is exactly what Joe Biden has allowed the Democrats to do to this country over the last 2 years. And its devastation is reverberating, not just here at home, but around the world. Weakness from the President of the United States on a global stage emboldens our adversaries in a way that nothing else does. We're seeing it in Russia, we're seeing it with China, we're seeing it all over the map. But there is good news. I'm waiting on good news. There's good news. How many of y'all are thanking God that we have good news?
Yeah, let's hear it, let's hear it.
To restore faith in America, the first thing we would do is we would cut taxes and give you your money back, because you can design your life better than we can. We would take a step out of your way and let you win or lose by the decisions you make. If you're going to restore faith in America, you would do what we did in 2017 when we, the Republican Party, the GOP, the Great Opportunity Party, lowered taxes in every single tax bracket. I had the great privilege of writing for the Senate the personal side of the tax code. I looked at my mom, single mom, and I said, I'm going to make sure that the single mothers of today do not have the same experiences that we had. You come home, you hit the switch, nothing happened. The electricity was working, just not in our house. I want single mothers to have more of their money. So we cut a single mother's tax burden on the federal level by 70%. The Republican Party did that. We restored faith in our economy in such a way that 9 out of 10 Americans said they were satisfied with the direction of their lives. Today, just a little more than 10% say they are confident of the direction we're going. We reduced the unemployment rates for African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians to the lowest level ever recorded in the history of our great country. We had a 70-year low, the lowest since World War II for women, and for the majority population, a 50-year low. With lower taxes, Governor, we saw revenues to the government go up, not down. Because when things go on sale, they buy more. It's called the Laffer curve, to go back to the Reagan years. We literally had a 3% increase in revenues as our taxes went down. Our corporations brought over $1.6 trillion back home to America. We, the GOP, took funding for historically black colleges and universities to the highest level in the history of the country. And then we made it permanent. But we didn't tell anybody. We didn't tell anybody what I'm telling you today. We did not celebrate the success of the GOP, the antidote to what ails us. We didn't sell it. We, the people, should be in charge of our decisions, our resources, and our kids. So, people take pot shots at me because they say, it's not possible. You can't be telling the truth. I use all the numbers because I want people to go take a look. Cameras, reporters, Republicans, Democrats. We're talking about the facts of who we are, not fiction. I believe the next American generation starts with good, strong, homegrown leadership. People who are in the fight because they believe in our story. That each and every one of us may have a slightly different story, but the American story is the same story. It is always obstacles, then opportunities. It's always pain, and out of the pain comes our purpose. And if we remember that, we will remember that the secret sauce of the next American century ain't that big of a secret. It's just you and me doing what we've always done in the same way, trusting each other, loving each other, overcoming our differences, and then creating converts to conservatism. God bless you.